Hey everyone, welcome back to Maple Syrup Tech. I'm Rick, and today we're going to be looking at another CPU cooler review. Today we're going to be looking at the NOCTUA NH-L9. It's actually the first NOCTUA cooler to be reviewed on the channel, so I'm pretty excited because NOCTUA is not really what we normally do, which is budget coolers. They're really more focused on high-end, but also very high-quality coolers. So it's going to be exciting to look at this first NOCTUA cooler, especially that it's a low-profile design, which is also one of the first coolers we're going to be really looking at on the channel that are quality, low-profile coolers. So, without further ado, let's start with a description of the cooler so we know what we're dealing with. The NOCTUA NH-L9 is a low-profile, downdraft style cooler. It's equipped with two nickel-plated copper heat pipes that run through its aluminum fin stack. It also comes equipped with a 92mm PWM compatible fan, and there's an optional low noise adapter which limits the fan speed for added silence. It also comes included in the box with a tube of NTH1 thermal compound, and it's pretty good stuff, so it's actually a pretty decent inclusion. The weight of the cooler is 450 grams. It has a height of only 37 millimeters, a width of 92 millimeters, and a depth of 109 millimeters. It's really important to note that the cooler either comes in an Intel or AMD variant with only the corresponding mounting hardware, so choose carefully before you buy the cooler to get the right version. And it's important to note that depending on when your cooler was produced, if you choose the AMD version, you actually might need an AM4 upgrade kit for it to be compatible with Ryzen. So now that we have an idea of what the cooler is equipped with and what it looks like, let's take a look at the results we got. First thing I'd like to mention is NOCTUA really makes some quality products. When you're holding your coolers, you really realize why NOCTUA is known for a really high build quality. These things feel solid, and you know you're dealing with a quality product when you're holding these coolers. So let's see, however, if this quality translates into decent results. And just before we do that, let's just go over the methodology really quick. Number one, it's really important to note this is a question that comes up often for my videos. The results you're going to see are under full load for the temperatures, meaning that I'm running IDA64 for at least 15 minutes before I average out the temperatures over 10 minutes. Secondly, it's really important to note that the results are in delta temperatures, meaning the temperatures above the ambient temperature of the room. And also, I'm using a Ryzen 3 1200 open air test bench system, which is overclocked to 3.9 gigahertz using 1.3 volts. The fan speed on the coolers are locked at 100%, giving the maximum performance of the coolers at all times, and also the maximum noise for the noise charts. And for the noise charts, I take basically my portable sound meter placed 2 feet above the motherboard, which is a worst case scenario of someone gaming with their desktop right on their desk, right near their face. And since it's an open air test bench, since there's no case to dampen the sound, it's actually pretty much worse than what you're actually going to get in real life. So these are really worst case scenarios for the sound as well. The last thing I would like to go over really quick before you look at the results is that this is a low profile cooler. So when we're going to look at the charts, we're going to be talking more about the other low profile coolers that are in the charts to compare to. And also eventually, once I've tested a couple of more low profile coolers, we'll be doing separate charts for the low profile coolers, separating them from the tower style coolers, because they really shouldn't be compared one to another because they're really not used in the same scenarios. So let's get to the charts on the temperature and see what we're talking about. So if you look at the charts here, you have two temperatures. You have the results without the low noise adapter and with the low noise adapter. Without the low noise adapter, we were getting 35 degrees above ambient, meaning that it places it actually as the best low profile cooler we've tested so far, with the closest cooler being the Ryzen Spire, which is the stock cooler coming with the Ryzen 7 and above. It really beats easily the Ryzen Stealth and also the any other low profile cooler we've tested so far by at least, I would say, 6 or 8 degrees, which is pretty significant if we're looking at overclocking a CPU. However, once we install the low noise adapter, we lose 4 degrees of performance, so we go up to 38C above ambient, and honestly at that point we're sort of getting into the danger territory for overclocking things, anything above a Ryzen 3. So a Ryzen 5, a Ryzen 7, I would probably not recommend using the low noise adapter if you're going to be overclocking those CPUs. So let's now go look at the noise and see if the noise fits in with the results we got on temperatures. So for noise, without the low noise adapter, we were getting 46 decibels, which is an average result for the coolers we've tested so far. It's not very noisy, it's not gonna deafen, it's not gonna deafen you, and you're probably not gonna hear it with a headset on. However, when we put the low noise adapter, we hit 39 decibels, and that's whisper quiet. At 39 decibels, you can hardly hear the cooler above, a normal room sounds. Because, for example, the room I'm testing in pretty much has a bass sound of around 35 decibels, which are just the normal things that are happening in a room. So honestly, performance-wise on noise, it's a very strong performer in my opinion. Now, where does this place the results? Like, what are the suggestions we can make on the cooler? Well, number one, and for a lot of you out there, this isn't going to be something I need to say, but we're just going to say it nonetheless. This is a low profile cooler. You only buy this cooler if you're restricted in the room you have because of your case. So you're building in a mini ITX case, a micro ATX case, or for whatever reason, you really have almost no CPU clearance available for a tower style cooler. Because if not, for the same money, you're going to be getting way better performance out of even any tower style cooler, and even out of a $25 tower cooler, you're going to be getting way better performance than this cooler at $50. So this is for a scenario where you need the small footprint. When we compare it, however, to the other low profile coolers, without the low noise adapter, this is a very strong performer. So far, if you're looking to overclock like I said, a Ryzen 3 or a Ryzen 5, this is probably the cooler that's going to get you the best results so far in the coolers we've tested for the low profile. At the same time, if you're running an i5 or an i7, you're probably not going to be able to overclock it all the way, and even if you delid your CPU, you're probably going to have some problems. So if you're running, however, the low noise adapter, and you're running at stock speeds, and you want a really quiet cooler, this is an excellent product as well. So I can see it used in 2 scenarios. You're overclocking a CPU, but not too heavily, or you're building like a home theater PC with a very small footprint, and you don't want to hear any sound because you're watching movies and whatnot. Then you'll be using the low noise adapter. You'll be running at stock speeds, and the temperatures will not be an issue at all. So overall, for a low profile cooler, this is an excellent product so far. And at the price $50, I don't think there's any other coolers out there that can touch it with such a small footprint. We're going to be looking over the next few weeks, however, at other low profile coolers, and we'll be getting a better idea of where it fits into the exact stack. But so far, I was impressed with the NOCTUA NH-L9, and honestly, I can recommend the cooler to any of you out there if you fit into one of the scenarios I mentioned earlier. And one last time, don't waste your money if you don't need a small footprint. Just go get yourself a cheaper tower cooler out there. So as usual, I hope you guys appreciated the content. I'll see you in my next video, and I'll catch you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It'll help the channel out a lot so I can get more content out there for you guys. Thanks.